Good morning. How are you doing today? We are now going to First Kings chapter 17 and 18. So say hello to Elijah. No dull moments with him. But let's start first. We noticed that first of all, we were not told who Elijah's father was. We were not told who his mother was. No conversation about how he grew up. It was just that he came on the scene suddenly. He just said, "Hey, Elijah, a man from Tishbe, of the clan of the Gileadites, from Gilead." He just showed up, and we don't even know. We didn't hear how he entered into the palace. Next thing, he just went to tell King Ahab, "There will be no rain in this land until I say so." And as he finished talking, he just went away again. The Spirit of God carried him away, and God took him to. First of all, he went to hiding because he was hidden. If you check in chapter 18, you know that Ahab was looking for him. But God knows how to hide you. So some of us, the places where we are, God is hiding us. So don't come out until He tells you to come out, because there are people that are seeking your life, and He's hiding you. He's hiding you in that pain, by that river. But you know where He hid him, He was providing for him. Ravens that are wicked animals, very wicked, they came and they provided for Elijah day and night. They were bringing him food, and God was not sending. He was prophet too, but he was not going anywhere. His own prophetic was staying in one place. His prophetic was not running programs. His own prophetic was not seeing vision for people and collecting envelopes. His prophetic was to stay in the place that God told him to stay, and he spoke only the words that God told him to speak. So to those of us that are operating the prophetic of brown envelopes, the prophetic where we see visions for people, that's not the way the prophets of the Bible used to do. It was majority of their sins and visions, God just showed up and He spoke to them. And even in the few instances that they saw visions for people, when people came, etc., very rarely did they collect money from the people that they were seeing visions from. I don't even know. I can't think of any case where they were paid for their prophetic gifts by the people that they saw they saw things for. So these are our own prophetic these days, that you have to go and bring something and do sacrifice so that they can see for you. Let me make sure. Anyway, so he goes on. Valley dries, the river dries up, and then God tells him to go to Zarephath. God hid him. He relocated. He left the country, and the king of the country did not know. Ahab was looking for him. He set watch everywhere for him. But God knew how to move his Elijah. He knew how to move his prophet. He didn't have to say, "How will I get transport money to go to Zarephath?" Elijah was an enemy of the state. Yet God knew how to move his prophet. He knew how to move him when he needed to move. There was no obstacle for him. Nobody could stop him from moving when he needed to move. And so, if God is the one funding your ministry, your expedition, that He will take care of you. Worry not, okay? That's His business. He's the one that sent you. He will fund what He sent you to do, okay? Okay. So sorry, got to go. I had to join the train. I was talking about Elijah not needing any. He didn't need to go and crowdfund. He didn't need to go and beg anybody for him to find his way to Zarephath. God took care of it. If God sent you on assignment, we will know. He will provide for you in ways that it will be clear that it's Him. Because we've been saying it under our tongue. Maybe I should just say it. Some of you be carrying envelope up and down. You tell us that God sent you, then you are telling me to come and fund the vision that you said God sent you. No, God has not spoken to me about it. When God talks to me, you won't need to be the one carrying envelope. He will come to me. He will tell me. just like God said he has instructed the widow of Zarephath to feed Elijah. He instructed her. Whether she got the instruction or not, that's the other matter anyway. But at least God still showed himself in that one. Anyway, let's get to Zarephath first. So Elijah finds his way to Zarephath. He knew the exact widow he needed to go to. He didn't go to all the widows in Zarephath hoping that he will meet the one about God was talking about. He GPS led him properly, and he meets her. He didn't go to 10 widows hoping that one of them would be the one. He knew where he was going. He wasn't doing the EJ. We will know when it's God. Anyway, so he gets there. He meets this widow. She's gathering sticks, gathering food to cook her last meal, and he tells her that give me water, and she's going to give him water. Sisi is delivering. His food is going to, but he did not go straight and say, God, thus saith the Lord, you will feed me. He had wisdom. He told her first, bring me water. As she was going to bring water, I was like, hey, and not food. That's when the lady was like, hey, wait, calm down. And he didn't get angry. He just, she told him that, see, I'm gathering my last meal. This is my own last meal, me and my child. We want to eat it and we die. And Elijah told her that she should go and do his own first. And then it was clear that was the widow God sent to feed him, because the miraculous happened time and over again. They never lacked to eat. You've told us to sow seeds. We sowed seeds. We don't have food to eat again. We are questioning your prophetic. Your prophetic, we've sown seed. People have died after giving you the food. Anyway, eventually, the widow's son now finally died. And you would have thought that maybe she was planning that they will eat their food and die. Why did the death now move her again? But it was obvious that she knew that there was solution. God's will for her at that time was not to die. So she cried out to Elijah, and she asked him that, have you come to remind me of my sins? Why did this pikin die? Of course, her talk self was careless, because thank God for his mercy, the boy was raised from the dead. So he saw we could trace the prophetic in Elijah's life. That was true prophetic. They now finished that one. They now got to the point where God told him to go back, because it was time for rain again. Because Elijah told them that there will be no rain until I say so. Hi. And it was so. The Bible says that it happened according to the word of Elijah. Your own prophetic is only food and water, prosperity, etc. that we're saying, and it's usually something that can be explained away with logic. I don't want to drag today. Anyway, let's just calm down. So he goes back to Israel, and then God orchestrated his move. And we are in 1 Kings chapter 18 now. Most times we focus so much on the interactions with, before we go there. No, that was the beginning. Yeah. So he shows up again suddenly, just as suddenly as he disappeared. He shows up in 1 Kings 18, and then he talks to, what they call him, Obadiah. God made sure that Obadiah was the one that saw Elijah, not Ahab. Because we needed to hear Obadiah's account. Obadiah and Ahab and Obadiah, they were looking for food for the cattle, and they both decided to split ways. It got to the point where the king himself was the one going to go and look for cattle, for food for his cattle himself. Normally, it's supposed to be a servant or so, but the famine, he don't reach there. Ahab was doing his own errands himself, but Obadiah was still there. And you think that this guy is Ahab's do or die. Everything that Ahab does, that's what he does. But Obadiah was different. He's what you call a sheep in wolf's clothing. He was like a Daniel in Babylon, or like a Joseph in Egypt. He was in the king's palace. He was doing the king's work, but he was God's secret agent inside the king's palace. Some of us, the reason why God gave you that job is so that you can be his insider on the job. But you got there and you started learning the ways of Babylon. started learning the ways of Egypt. So now God cannot talk to you again. But Obadiah said that when Ahab said that they should kill God's prophets, he hid 100 of them in 2 different caves, and he's been feeding them from the king's food, the king that wanted to kill them. Obadiah was God's agent inside that palace. And that was why he had to be the one to see Elijah, because we needed to know that Elijah was not the last prophet standing. And we needed to understand. And of course, obviously, if God had 7,000, that means there were like about 70 people like Obadiah that were secret agents. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because a good number of us, God sent us to that place as a secret agent. So you need to man your guard. You need to do your own part. You get the intel that they are going to kill all the prophets of God. You go and get your own 100 and hide them. And make sure you are feeding them. Keep them in the cave. And but I also made us know that Ahab had searched for Elijah everywhere. So if we didn't hear that Obadiah's account, we would just have been guessing. So it had to be Obadiah that had to say Elijah first, because we needed to hear that part of the story. So he goes on, we hear that. I'm going to need to end this call. End this. Or pause. Okay, because I'm not sure you will get so many people talking as much about Obadiah as this. That's why I needed to. I don't even know if it's the Obadiah that wrote the book of Obadiah. Perhaps he's the one, who knows. But he had to be the one that would say Elijah, so that we will see God's technology of how he was able to preserve 7,000 people that had never bowed their knees to Baal, even when the general assembly were worshipping Baal. Huh? God has his technology, he has his men, and if you make yourself available, you can be one of his people that he's using for his work on earth that is not loud. So it's not only those people that are on Instagram and YouTube and all that are pulling crowd meeting that are God's people, and some of them are really not God's people, but let's not go there, let's not shake that table. But God has his own, that they haven't bowed their knees to Baal at any point. They've never had to, because they've wholly and solely depended on the Lord. I'm telling you this, we will find out later that there are people that may not have died since Jesus came. You will be amazed that they are in caves. Anyway, so let's go on, let's finish up, and then they get to the classic battle of the people that when there was a showdown between Elijah and the prophets of Baal. And one thing that struck me was that after the people of Baal cut themselves, did everything, blah blah blah, Elijah told them to use 12 jars of water. They should pour it in the jar. Remember, there was famine, water was scarce. Where did they find 12 jars of water? Where? The miracle for me, apart from the fire coming down, was that they had 12 jars of water to pour. Higher. Inside famine, they had found 12 jars. And then, of course, God showed himself. It was spectacular. There was fire. Then the people believed, because beware of people that only believe when they see signs and wonders. They are not true believers. They will move to Baal when you are not able, when they don't see Moses. They will call Aaron to create a cow for them. Humanity is fickle. If you see people that all their Christianity is about the signs, the way they felt when they were in God's presence, when they don't feel that way in God's presence, they will seek other experiences. So we will have mixed multitude that will remember the garlic of Egypt. So just be mindful of the people you're raising. Be mindful. Don't raise people that the day they don't see God, they can do any other, they can take any other one. We need to make sure that we are building solid people that are able to stand even in the days when they don't feel the goosebumps, they don't feel, they will still stand. And that's the prayer. I pray for you, I pray for me, that we will not, our experiences with God will not just be because we saw the spectacular, but that we will be fully grounded and firmly rooted in Him. We call it 276, that we should make sure that we are grounded. I'll look for that scripture and maybe share in the comments. I would love to hear from you, your thoughts on 1 Kings 17 and 18. What do you think? Let's have it. Have a blessed day. I love you.